Let's talk about some fashion and style beliefs that I think are completely wrong. These are all just my own opinions, of course, and you might disagree with a few of them. You might disagree with all of them, and that's absolutely fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but just remember, if you do disagree with me on any of them, there will be hell to pay. I'm only joking. Anyway, this will all make sense as we get into the video, so let's get right into it. A lot of people out there think that the highest quality option is always the best choice, but in reality, it often isn't. For example, you're looking to buy a new pair of boots, then the best quality pair of boots on the market might not be suited to your style and your lifestyle. Most of the time when I'm wearing boots, I'm popping into town to go and get myself a pumpkin spice latte, so I don't need anything that can withstand heavy machinery or a volcanic eruption. In my opinion, I know you didn't ask for it, but I'm going to give it you anyway, but you need to balance quality and aesthetic, because often the highest quality items aren't the best looking. And if you don't like the look of something, you're not going to want to wear it, and it can end up being a waste of money, which isn't what we want. And if you need the highest quality item of whatever it is for your job or for your lifestyle, then that's completely fair enough. Go and buy that item, or if you love it. But for most of us, the highest quality items out there are just going to be overkill. I'm going to go ahead and say it, but some of the worst dressed people that I've ever seen have been rich people. And I don't know what it is. Maybe they lean too heavily on expensive clothing to do all the talking, so their outfits lack personality and end up looking a bit stale. But on the other hand, some of the most stylish people I've ever seen thrift a lot of their clothing, and their outfits are full of personality and they look really unique. And this isn't me saying you need to go and thrift to get an interesting looking outfit. What I'm trying to say here is you don't need to spend a fortune on clothing or have a load of money to dress well. So this is the idea that personal style is something that you find and it has a finish line. And I used to think that way too, and I've even made videos on the channel talking about personal style in that way back in the day, but since those videos I've learned that personal style is more of a journey rather than a destination. Unless you're Steve Jobs, where you just pick one outfit to wear for the rest of your life, and yeah, you just wear that. So for him, personal style did have a finish line. But for most of us, our style will evolve over time as we get older, and that's what keeps things fun in my opinion. So rather than getting frustrated with where your style's at the moment and trying to rush to find your personal style, just enjoy the journey and have fun with it. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's true. You don't need a PhD in fashion to dress well. A lot of people think you have to study fashion or know about every designer and everything about fashion history to be stylish, but that's simply not the case. In my opinion, it's just the same thing as someone who knows a lot about music history and musicians. That doesn't automatically make them a good musician. And it's the same thing with someone who likes art. Just because they know a load about art and artists, that doesn't automatically make them a good painter. So if you enjoy clothing and you love fashion, but you don't know who the Antwerp Six are, then it really doesn't matter. I see so many people tearing other people down online because of their lack of fashion knowledge, and everyone likes different things about fashion. You don't all have to like absolutely every part of it. Just choose the parts you like and leave the rest. Oh, would you look at that? I'm in a different outfit and I haven't got a hat on. I do need a haircut though. But anyway, that's irrelevant. But I'm wearing a different outfit because I'm filming this on a different day. I forgot to film this part and I do think it's important, so it needs to be in the video. But yeah, the whole men can't wear women's clothing thing. I think a lot of men are ignoring that now and they are shopping in the women's section. And I think that's great, but it still gets a lot of stick. I think I might have used this example before, but I'm going to use it again because I think it's golden. But if a man was shopping in a shop, which is where you normally shop, and they grab a piece of clothing off the men's rail, they take it to the changing rooms and they try it on. They feel absolutely amazing in that piece of clothing. They love it, so they decide to buy it. When they get to the checkout, they realise that that item of clothing has actually been misplaced and it's from the women's section, don't you think it would be silly of them not to buy that item of clothing now they know it's from the women's section? It's the same item of clothing that they loved and felt amazing in just a second ago, so why wouldn't they buy it? For me, clothing or pieces of cloth have no gender. I just wear whatever I like. I do find a lot of the women's section doesn't fit me that well, but if it fits and I like the way it looks, I'm going to buy it. I don't care what section it's from. Why limit your fashion choices, or why stop yourself wearing something that you love because someone you don't know decided that that item was just for women or just for men? It makes no sense to me. Sure, simplicity can be very boring, but when done well, it speaks volumes in my opinion. And for me, some of the outfits that I remember most are the most simple outfits, and I'm sure it's the same for some of you. And if you like really loud and experimental outfits, then that's great, I love to see them, but there's nothing wrong with keeping things simple if that's what you want to do. I feel like simplicity gets far too much stick online these days, especially with the rise in performative fashion online, but not everyone wants to get dressed for the runway every day. I know I don't. I hear people say all the time that classic items that have been around forever can't trend. For example, a pair of Adidas Sambas. A lot of people say, they're not a trend, mate, they're a classic item, they've been around forever. But both can be true. As we all know by now, trends are cyclical, so it's very rare that we see something brand new when it comes to trends. They've all been done before, and they're usually made up of items that have been around forever, that are just having a spike in popularity. And just because a classic item trends and then goes out of trend, it doesn't stop that item being a classic item. Plenty of people are still going to wear it, it's still going to look good, and it will probably trend again in the future. And everything that you love and wear will probably trend at some point in time if it hasn't already. Now, I just want to be clear, I do think trend hopping and overconsumption are bad, but I don't think trends as a whole are all bad. I think if you're just getting into fashion, trends can be a great place to start because they're easy to access and you don't have to spend a fortune on them. They can help you find what you want to wear, and they can also push you out your comfort zone if you get too comfortable in your own style, and they can be fun to play around with. But I do get where people are coming from when they say trends are bad. They're normally talking about overconsumption and trend hopping, and I do agree with them on that, as I mentioned earlier. But trends as a whole, I don't think they're all bad. Some people say, well, quite a lot of people say, that you can only wear certain items at a certain age, and I disagree with that. In my opinion, the people who are often labelled as trying to dress too young often are trying to dress too young, so they're styling their clothing in a way that doesn't suit them, if that makes sense. I think if you're styling something well in a way that suits you, it doesn't matter what that item is, because you're styling it well. I don't think items of clothing have an age limit to them. I think it's just the people who are wearing them are trying to dress like someone they're not, and it's not giving off a great look. But I've done a whole video about should you dress your age. If it's something you're worried about, then watch that video. I think it's an absolute banger, but I would say that I made it. But I hope this video has made you feel better, and if not, if it's made you feel worse, let me know. But for those of you who are full of joy and you're left wanting more, then click on one of these two videos. They're going to make you feel even better. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and until the next one, I will see you later.